Sarah wasn't always this broken. 10 years ago, she and Mark were the couple everyone envied. Freshly married, they'd spend evenings cooking together, dreaming of kids and a cozy home. Sarah, with her warm smile and endless kindness, poured her heart into their life. She supported Mark's tech startup, staying up late to proofread his pitches, even when it meant sidelining her own dreams of opening a bakery. But after a devastating miscarriage, everything changed. Sarah spiraled into depression, finding comfort in food. Her weight climbed, and so did Mark's criticism. "You used to be so beautiful," he'd say, his words slicing deeper each time. She tried diets, grueling workouts, anything to win back his approval, but nothing worked. She felt like a shadow of herself, believing she was the problem. That night at the family gathering was the final blow. Mark had been distant for months, but Sarah never imagined he'd humiliate her so openly. "I'm done," he announced, his voice cold as ice. "I can't be with someone who doesn't care about herself." Vanessa stood beside him, her smug smile a knife in Sarah's heart. Relatives stared, some whispering, others too shocked to speak. Sarah's face burned as she stumbled out, collapsing into her car. Sobbing, she caught her reflection in the rearview mirror, puffy eyes, flushed cheeks, a woman she barely recognized. But in that moment, something sparked. "I'm not worthless," she whispered, her voice trembling but resolute. "I'm enough. And I'll prove it, not to him, but to me." The next week, Sarah packed a single suitcase and left their shared home. She rented a tiny apartment, its peeling paint and creaky floors a far cry from the life she'd known. Money was tight, Mark had controlled their finances, leaving her with little. Alone at night, she'd clutch an old photo of herself at 25, vibrant, laughing, full of dreams. In a dusty box, she found a journal from her college days, pages filled with plans to travel, start a business, live boldly. Who was that girl, she wondered, tracing the words. That journal became her lifeline. "I lost myself trying to be what he wanted," she wrote. "Now I'll become who I want." Determined, Sarah dove into research. She didn't just want to lose weight, she wanted to reclaim her strength, her fire. She signed up for a local gym, her stomach churning as she stepped inside, feeling out of place among the toned regulars. That's when she met Mia, a trainer with a no-nonsense attitude and a heart of gold. "This isn't about being skinny," Mia told her. "It's about being unstoppable." Sarah clung to those words. Her first workouts were brutal, her legs wobbled after 5 minutes on the treadmill, and she craved her old comfort foods. But Mia's encouragement kept her going. "You're stronger than you think," Mia said, high-fiving her after Sarah completed her first push-up, small victories piled up. Sarah ran her first mile, panting but proud. She fit into an old pair of jeans, twirling in front of her mirror. She started cooking healthy meals, savoring the flavors of fresh veggies and herbs, a far cry from the takeout she used to numb her pain. But it wasn't just her body changing. Sarah started therapy, unpacking the wounds Mark's words had left. "He didn't leave because of your weight," her therapist said gently. "He left because of his own shallowness." Those words hit like a revelation. Sarah began to see herself differently, not as a failure, but as a survivor. She reconnected with old friends, who welcomed her back with open arms. One night, over pizza and laughter, her friend Lisa said, "Sarah, you're glowing. Not because you're losing weight, but because you're finding yourself." Those words stuck. Sarah tried new things, yoga classes, dance nights, even a painting workshop. She laughed more, her smile no longer forced. At the gym, a guy named Ethan started chatting with her. He was kind, with a quiet confidence, always cheering her on when she hit a new personal record. "You're killing it," he'd say, his grin genuine. Sarah felt a spark but kept her distance. After Mark, trust felt impossible. Inspired by her journey, Sarah started a blog, pouring her heart into posts about her struggles and triumphs. "I'm not here to tell you to lose weight," she wrote. "I'm here to say you're enough, exactly as you are." Her honesty struck a chord. Women commented, sharing their own stories of heartbreak and resilience. "You're my hero," one wrote, making Sarah tear up. Her follower count grew, and soon she was getting messages from strangers who felt seen because of her words. For the first time, Sarah felt purpose beyond pleasing someone else, but then came a sting. Through a mutual friend, Sarah heard Mark was living his best life with Vanessa, who was pregnant. The news hit hard, stirring old insecurities. She pictured Mark's smug face, his belief that he'd traded up. But instead of breaking her, it fueled her. "He thinks he's won," she told Mia, her jaw set. "He hasn't seen me yet." Sarah doubled down on her goals. She ran faster, lifted heavier, wrote fiercer. Her blog caught the eye of a local fitness brand, offering her a small sponsorship. She wasn't just rebuilding her body, she was building a life. He thought he'd broken her, but Sarah was back, stronger, bolder, and ready to turn the tables. The charity gala buzzed with energy, and Sarah walked in like she owned the room. Her dress hugged her transformed figure, her confidence radiating like a spotlight. Heads turned, whispers followed, and there, across the crowd, stood Mark and Vanessa. His jaw dropped, her smile faltered. This wasn't just a glow-up, this was Sarah rewriting her story, and Mark was about to learn what he'd lost at in the months before the gala. Sarah's transformation hit new heights. She woke at dawn, lacing up her sneakers for runs that left her breathless but exhilarated. She lifted weights heavier than she ever thought possible, her muscles burning with pride. In her tiny kitchen, she whipped up colorful meals, grilled salmon, quinoa salads, each bite a reminder of how far she'd come from stress-eating takeout. But it wasn't just her body. Her mind was sharper, her spirit fiercer. She'd stare in the mirror, not checking for flaws but celebrating her strength. "This is me," she'd say, grinning. "And I'm unstoppable." Her blog exploded, thousands now following her raw, honest posts. "Your worth isn't in a number on the scale," she wrote. "It's in your heart, your fight, your fire." Women flooded her comments with stories of leaving toxic relationships or starting their own journeys. One message brought tears: "Sarah, you made me believe I'm enough." Her words were changing lives, and that fueled her more than any compliment on her looks. A fitness brand offered her a bigger sponsorship, and she poured the money into a dream she'd buried, a wellness coaching program for women rebuilding after heartbreak. She led group workouts, shared her story, and watched her clients bloom. One woman, wiping tears after a session, hugged her and said, "You saved me." Sarah's heart swelled. This was her purpose. Ethan, the kind guy from the gym, became a constant in her life. He jogged beside her, cracking jokes to make her laugh mid-run. "You're a powerhouse," he'd say, his eyes warm. Unlike Mark, he saw her grit, her spirit, not just her transformation. Sarah felt sparks but hesitated, her trust still fragile. Ethan never pushed, just stayed steady, bringing her coffee after early workouts or texting her silly memes. One night, over smoothies, he said, "I'm proud of you, Sarah. Not for changing your body, but for never giving up." Her walls softened, but she wasn't ready to leap, not yet. Then came the game changer. Sarah learned Mark's tech startup was tanking, bleeding money with no investors to save it. Meanwhile, Her coaching program caught the eye of a wealthy investor, Mr. Caldwell, who'd be at the charity gala. Sarah saw her chance, not to destroy Mark, but to shine so brightly his world would dim in comparison. She planned her gala appearance with precision, choosing a dress that screamed confidence, not revenge. She practiced a speech about resilience, her voice steady as she rehearsed. Her friends rallied around her, Lisa braiding her hair while Mia hyped her up. "You're not just showing up," Mia said. "You're showing the world who Sarah is." At the gala, the air crackled with anticipation. Sarah's heart raced, but she stood tall, her smile unshakable. She mingled, charming everyone with her warmth and wit. When she took the stage for her speech, the room fell silent. "I was told I wasn't enough," she said, her voice clear. "But I learned my worth isn't in someone else's eyes, it's in my strength, my choices, my heart." The crowd erupted in applause, Mr. Caldwell nodding from the front row. Sarah stepped off the stage, glowing, and that's when Mark approached. "You look different," he stammered, his old charm faltering. Sarah's eyes were ice. "You thought you broke me, Mark. You only made me stronger." She walked away, leaving him speechless. Vanessa, clutching Mark's arm, couldn't resist a jab. "Enjoying your little moment," she sneered. Sarah smiled, unshaken. "Vanessa, I hope you're as happy with him as I am without him." The crowd nearby stifled laughs, and Vanessa's face reddened. Later, Mr. Caldwell pulled Sarah aside, offering a partnership to expand her coaching program. "Your authenticity is rare," he said. "I want to invest in you." As they shook hands, Sarah caught Mark watching, his expression sour. She later learned he'd pitched to Caldwell and been rejected. His arrogance had cost him everything. Sarah didn't need to sabotage him, his own choices were his undoing. In the weeks that followed, Sarah's life soared. Her coaching program grew, with women signing up from across the country. Her blog hit 1 million followers, her inbox flooded with messages of gratitude. "You inspired me to start over," one read. "I'm running my first 5K because of you," said another. Sarah felt like she was living her journal's dreams, the ones she'd forgotten in her marriage. Ethan became more than a friend. One evening, as they watched the sunset after a run, he took her hand. "I've always seen you, Sarah, not just the new you, but the real you." She let herself lean into him, her heart open at last. One quiet morning, Sarah drove to her old house, now sold to a new family. Standing outside, she remembered the pain, the nights she'd cried herself to sleep. But now, she felt free. "I did it," she whispered, a tear slipping down her cheek, not of sadness, but of pride. She wasn't the woman Mark had discarded. She was Sarah, strong, whole, and living for herself. Her revenge wasn't about hurting him, it was about thriving so fiercely his betrayal became irrelevant.